In Total Money, we're taking a look at some of the benefits of refinancing a car loan. It can lower your interest rate and monthly payment, adjust your repayment term, and even tap some of the equity you have in your vehicle. And joining us now in studio to discuss is John Paradise from Town and Country Federal Credit Union. John, thank you for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, so talk about refinancing, the process, and the benefits.
Well, there are significant benefits if you meet some of these criteria. First of all, has your credit score improved? If it has, there are a lot of times your lender will give you a better rate if your credit score has improved, or you find another lender that will certainly reward you for that. So that's one thing to look for. If the rates have gone down, and they've been pretty steady lately, I think they're headed down eventually within the next few months. So if they're heading in the downward direction and your rate is at one of the higher peaks in the last couple of years, that's a good time to refinance. Also, you need to look at, do you need to tap into some equity? If your car is worth more than you owe, it's just like a house. You can tap into that equity. It's a good time to refinance it and use some of that cash to pay off other debt.
We are at an interesting time because interest rates are much higher than they were of just a few years ago.
Yes.
And so, some people find themselves in this situation where maybe I want a new car, maybe I want to upgrade or refinance, but you already have such a good interest rate.
Right.
So, and I know that's the housing market is kind of like that
it
too.
Is. It's very similar.
Yeah. So, what would be your advice for somebody who's in that kind of spot?
Well, if you've got a great rate, don't refinance.
Yeah.
It's plain and simple. If you're at a lender that has a penalty for repayment and repayment through refinancing, that may not benefit you. Those are the types. If you're close to paying off your auto loan, if it's only a few months, same with the housing. If you're close to paying off your home equity or your mortgage, why refinance it? No, unlike mortgages and home equities, you don't have those fees that are a consideration, but it's not worth it. It's more of a hassle if you are close to repaying it. Again, if your credit score has gone down, don't bother refinancing it because you're not going to get a better deal. You may end up with a worse rate. So there are lots of things to consider. I will say I see, no pun intended, the road ahead as far as auto lending and rates. They probably will, they're headed in a direction where they're going to come down maybe in the summer, at the latest in the early fall. So those are things to keep in mind. If you can hold on, if your car has if it's a high mileage, older car, it may behoove you to wait a little bit to refinance. But if you can get a better deal, take it. And if it makes sense for your finances, anytime is a good time to refinance if those meet the criteria.
All right, John, thanks so much for joining us. And I
Always a
liked the
pleasure.
pun, by the way. We'll be right back.